What's up, Whittier?
Welcome to What's Up, Whittier, a homegrown podcast.
A podcast to showcase Whittier's businesses, personalities, and hidden treasures.
Hey everybody, producer Christine here with this week's Community Corkboard announcements. On Friday, January 10th at 6 p.m., join Sustainable City and California YIMBY for their Happy Housing Hour at Guildhall, 6741 Bright Avenue. And this is a really great event. You're going to be able to learn about, what type of legislation and what we are doing in regard, when I say we, I mean the state of California. What are we doing in regards to helping out the homelessness situation and homelessness prevention with housing? As many of you know, I am running for mayor for the city of Whittier. Thank you so much for everybody who's supported me already. And if you would like more information, please visit ChristineForWhittier.com and go to @ChristineForWhittier on all social medias. Totally appreciate it. And I would even more so appreciate your vote and your support on March 3rd, 2020. But I just want to let you know, we have a lot of events, because we understand that it's important to get the word out to the community. I am all about informing the public. I'm all about informing Whittier. So this is what we're doing. On Sunday, January 12th from 3 to 5 p.m., we are hosting a Homelessness Townhall and Question and Answer Forum at Roadhouse Grill, 1516 Whittier Blvd, Whittier, California, 90603. So far, today is January 7th. We have two panelists. I am going to be the moderator, then your next mayor, Christine Singer-Luna, as the moderator. And I'm going to have Alexandra from California, Yes in My Backyard, to talk about housing legislation. And then I'm going to have Assembly District 57 candidate Vanessa Tyson. She's running to replace Ian Calderon since he stepped down and is not seeking re-election. Vanessa Tyson is actually a policy professor. She teaches public policy at Scripps College, which is part of the Claremont College. It's the all-females college. So Vanessa's so great. I've had the opportunity to meet with her, to talk with her. We agree on many of the same issues. And so not only is this an event to, campaign for herself, but it's also an opportunity for us as Whittierites to learn what we're doing at the state level. Because at the end of the day, I know, and again, you can learn more information on Christine for Whittier. At the end of the day, there's only so much Whittier can do. Whittier does not have all the resources to solve the issues that we have right now. To help people that don't have a home, we don't have a lot of resources allocated for that. But I know that what I have to do as your next mayor of Whittier is talk to our LA County Supervisor, Janice Hahn. I need to talk to our local state senator, Bob Archuleta. And currently it's Ian Calderon, but I want to not only support the next assembly member, Vanessa Tyson, but I know that Vanessa and I are going to have to work together in order to bring these funds to our area. So again, please make it out. That's going to be on Sunday, January 12th from 3 to 5 p.m. at Roadhouse Grill. On Tuesday, January 13th, join the Whitwood Branch Library for their Hello January Bingo. The Whitwood branch is located at 10537 Santa Gertrudes Avenue, Whittier, California, 90603. Bring the family to the library this evening for a couple rounds of bingo. There will be prizes for all ages, geared for ages 5 and up. Again, this is January 13th at 6:30 p.m. All right, and so the last event that I want to share is taking place next month, Sunday, February 9th at 3 p.m. It is the Whittier Regional Symphony's All-American Salute. Celebrating our American heritage, there will be Gershwin, Rhapsody in Blue, Bernstein's On the Town, and Copland's Symphony No. 3. So there will be a featured soloist, Mon Lang Bai, piano player. She won the 2019 Young Artists Competition. So again, please join us. There will be a kids' corner that begins at 2:15 p.m. So again, thank you so much, and I want to give a big shout out over to Fred Zermeno. He is the president of Whittier Regional Symphony, and yeah, definitely check it out. Again, it's a free experience. We don't have to go all the way to Walt Disney Concert Hall in downtown LA or any of these other big halls, because the Whittier Regional Symphony is bringing this culture and art to our community. So again, very grateful for that. And Whittier Regional Symphony is just one of many organizations in our community that's bringing art and culture. As many of you know, I am a cultural arts commissioner. One thing that I've done as a cultural arts commissioner is I asked in regards to having a mural policy. Now we are developing a mural policy. We are going to have murals in Uptown Whittier, in East Whittier, South Whittier, where we can, and I'm excited about it. And I'm honored to be part of a commission that wants to bring this new type of legislation, this new type of policy to our city of Whittier. So thank you everybody so much for sticking around What's Up Whittier and tuning in to what we got to say today. This is our 3rd anniversary. I can't believe you have been supporting this podcast for 3 years. I am so grateful. When I met Remo and Jessie at Forking Good Cafe, I never imagined that any of us would be where we are today. And we couldn't be doing this without your support, without your encouragement, without your positivity and kind words in the community. Thank you so much. If your friends don't know about the podcast, let them know about it. Tell them to check us out wherever you find podcasts. Go on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Music, honestly, wherever you find podcasts, and check out our new website, whatsupwhittier.xyz. You can also check out our social media, What's Up Whittier, on Facebook and on Instagram. We do pop in on a live sometimes here and there. But what's really cool that we have coming up is we have our City Council Candidate Episode Forum coming up, which is a long-form opportunity for candidates running for City Council to talk about their campaign and to answer our questions. Remo and Jessie and I, we're business owners. I live here. Remo lives here. Jessie lives in South Whittier. But they are building up Whittier. They're selling homes here. They're adding AWs here. I'm developing a radio station here, and I'm running for office. So we all have concerns that don't just affect us, but they affect everybody else, including you who are listening to this podcast. So please tune in for that. Check out all of our social medias since you're on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. You can follow Jessie at J2 Architects and see what great stuff that they're doing for our community. If you're looking to buy or sell a property, head on over to Remo the Realtor. You can check him out on Facebook, Instagram, and go to remotherealtor.com. And you can check out me, producer Christine. I have a website called ChristineSingerLuna.com. Or, more importantly right now, it's all about the campaign. Go to ChristineForWhittier.com so you can contribute, sign up to volunteer, sign up for a yard sign, and honestly, just bring freshness, bring fresh ideas to the City Council. I'm going to do an update in regards to the homelessness situation that we have going on here. Last night there was an emergency City Council meeting in regards to what to do about Parnell Park. What are we going to do there? It's like ground zero right now. So again, please hop on over to Christine for Whittier on Instagram to check out that update. And also, I have a podcast called Issues with Christine, and I talk about everything, all the issues going on in our community. And most recently, I talked about homelessness and the police, Whittier PD. So thank you so much, everybody, for your support. And visit our website, www.whatsupwhittier.xyz. Thank you so much for subscribing, for downloading, for leaving us reviews on iTunes, and for overall being a Whittierite. This is youth-friendly town, and I love my neighbors, so we do this for you. Thank you, everybody. Take it away, Jessie and Remo.
What's up, Whittier?
Dun 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 dun. Ooh, that was loud, huh?
Thanks, Remo.
Welcome to the 2020 dun dun dun. Dun dun dun.
That one came in with blasting cannons and sparkles and yeah, man.
Tons of explosions, yes.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Welcome. What's up, Whittier?
Yeah. How you guys doing? It's 2020.
Man, 2020, man. It feels like it's something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Because you think 2020, but at the same time, it's a little scary too because it just means we're getting older.
It does. How was your guys' New Year's Day celebration?
It was quiet. I mean,
Yeah.
Christine, did you do anything special?
No, I was house sitting in Seal Beach, and so just had to be responsible for the dogs because of the fireworks that were going on. So I didn't really go out or do anything. But, this whole month has been really a time to celebrate all the holidays in Uptown. We had the parade, we had the Sonata. I know there were some great parties up here in Uptown, which was awesome. But, mostly just kept it quiet and rang in the new year, just setting goals and intentions for the next decade. And reflecting on the last decade,
Nice.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're at the brewery today, recording live at the Whittier Brewery. So if you hear a lot of people in the background, it's because we have a live audience.
Absolutely.
People that don't know they're our audience, but we're in the patio area, and we're not next to the fire.
You're a little chilly, the Remo?
And having a couple of beers, man. I mean, this is their green leaf pale ale.
Yes, which we had in our last episode with Ricardo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's really awesome ever since they've opened, because I've seen it also with you, right?
Soft openings, right?
Yeah, this is the soft opening. And it's just been such an incredible response from the community. And it's like, this is what everyone's been waiting for. And it's exactly, well, I don't know if it's exactly, but it is the vision that we all saw, right?
Yeah.
Which is like all those people in there eating, talking, enjoying each other's time, and bonding over food. I think it's beautiful.
Nice. Remo?
Yes.
What did you do for New Year's?
No, I went to my brother's. My brother is the single bachelor left kind of in the family, and so he throws good parties. And so we were there, and we had a good old time. We enjoyed a couple Hennessy drinks, and when I say a couple, that's pretty loose. we the good thing is, one thing I know we're going to talk about is kind of what is going on in our world. Obviously, where you guys know we're expecting our first.
Yay! So exciting! Congratulations.
Baby, not another furry baby, right? Well, they call
if it
them
was
fur
up
babies.
to me, it would be, but no. But the benefit that comes with that is, obviously, there's a designated driver
I was just
in
gonna
the
say,
group.
Oh, yes.
That's
So,
hilarious.
which is great. So, we normally do take Ubers on New Year's, but this year we took my beautiful wife, who drove us home safely. So we had a good time, celebrated with family, my brothers, cousins. And we have a pretty big group of good, close friends as well that came. So it was a good time.
Nice.
Yeah. Talking about 2020, they mentioned, my brother says it's a roaring 20s party. And I thought, wow, it's a kind of unique idea. And I never linked it with, it's the 20s, 2020.
Yeah, like
and then
1920s.
I see everyone else have roaring 20 parties. I was like, how is everyone doing this? And then it dawned on me, like, it's the 20s. And
Paul, you showed up with your skinny jeans that are tore up. And fitted
2020
shirt.
style.
Yeah.
No, a hoodie and some jeans. No, but anyway, I thought it was neat. So it was a roaring 20s party, like every other New Year's party, I'm sure, out there. So we had a good time.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse? What'd you do for New Year's?
We actually just hung out with friends.
Cool.
Yeah, we started late and ended early, but just family, hung out, had a good year, good coming year, or entering the year, and now just kind of getting at it. It's almost, obviously I didn't drink as much. I think I maybe had like 2 or 3 drinks, but I'm a little hungover even now, and just hungover in the sense that, like, I think these last couple weeks with the holidays, like, my energy's just been drained, and it's just more of like trying to
Get back
recharge.
into it?
Yeah, get back to it. I mean, I officially haven't gone back to work yet, but it's I think it's gonna get hard, man. It's gonna be hard to start having to wake up early and actually turn on a computer.
I'm like the exact opposite. I can't wait to start. These holidays, and especially when Christmas and New Year's lands in the middle of the week, are killers. For production, for productivity.
Yeah.
So, because everyone, Monday and Tuesday, everyone kind of go easy, and then when you get to the office on a Thursday, everyone's like, well,
Thursday,
tomorrow's Friday, and so the last 2 weeks have just been not as productive. So I'm excited for us to have this completely behind us.
You're right, but for me, it's just more like, I mean, I don't know how it's been for you, Remo, or Christine, the last year, like 2019, but it's been so crazy that it's you almost, I mean, all the days kind of blend in for me. Even the months have blended to a point where I'm like, man, what day is it today? You know.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to get that break, and it's almost like a forced break.
Yeah.
Because most cities aren't open, so there's really not much I could do in terms of getting things done. So it's been nice, but again, it's gonna be harder. Jumpstart again, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like it's really an opportunity just to take a step back and that's self-care, I guess. You spend time with your friends and your family. How often during the year do you make that much time to spend with your loved ones? But I mean, for me personally, I use the last couple of weeks to just regroup, see how my projects are doing, what can be done better, because it's, for me personally, it's a lot easier to regroup in that when I'm not thinking about all the things I have to do, because everybody else is moving at a slower pace. I don't necessarily have to go out and do that, so and so I really just took the opportunity for the last 2 weeks to do that. But you're right, I woke up at 6 o'clock today and I was like, here we go.
Still too cold.
It was too cold. There was like ice on my car. No, there wasn't, but
it was ice from the drink from the last night. Let's talk about last year, man, 2019. How it went for everybody. What was it that you enjoyed or didn't enjoy? And let's talk about some goals you guys had that either you accomplished or didn't accomplish. I'll start with Remo, because Remo has that look like he's been thinking about it all day.
I have. I wrote notes.
There you go.
I know. Look at that binder in front of you. Color coordinated.
Yes. You're right.
Very organized.
Let me get the chicken scratch on my hand on my palm. That rubbed off. Last year was a pretty good year. First from a business standpoint, we set out to help 70 families either buy or sell real estate. We ended up the year helping 52 families.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so, which is good, but obviously it's short of our goal. This year, our goal is to help 100 families either buy or sell. So it's an ambitious goal. However, we're going to make it happen. Ambitious in the sense that we haven't done it before, but it's still very doable within our world. So, what else? This last year we weren't parents, and this year we are going to be parents eventually. Nice. In March, so we're expecting a baby girl, Camila, in March. So we're really excited. Yesterday, I spent 4 hours building a dresser cabinet.
Welcome to my world, man.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was. I always put these. I'm really good at building stuff. When it comes to like IKEA assemble, I follow instructions surprisingly really, really well. Yeah. And that comes easy to me. Yesterday though, those drawers, the way they weren't like the best design, and so like there's room for error. Yeah. And I would put the little those rollers on the side, and I would take them off because they didn't line up or they're too high, too low, and it just what I thought was going to take an hour and a half took 4 hours.
There you go, man.
So
it's only a beginning.
Yeah, and anyways, it was so that's an exciting time. What else? Last year we got to travel a little bit. This coming year maybe not as much traveling because of the baby. So we made it to, my cousin got married in Greece last year, so we went to Greece for a wedding, and then since we're in that area, we turned it into a long vacation and went to a few other countries in the area. What else? Yeah, I'm keep going. I have a list.
No,
I know. I see your binder.
But, and in terms, that's what happened last year. Obviously, good stuff.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you said, man? From 2018 goals,
2019.
No, from 2018 to coming into 2019, was there anything that you said, looking back now for 2020, we're looking at, X and Y, or maybe something different that after reflecting on that, I'm going this direction.
It was a really good year, and across the board. Just on a personal level, my parents both had some health issues. My mom had open heart surgery, so that was pretty intense for their family, and kind of giving the care back to health, and now she's back to normal. My dad had similar concerns the year before, so so that kind of, obviously personal and business went on a back burner until they were fine again, and they are. And so nothing really that stands out. I mean, overall, I give it a B+, A- for a year.
So it was a good year. I mean, it's something
year,
you kind of wanted, you're looking for.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But you're also a very positive person, so I really wouldn't expect anything.
Yeah.
You turn things around.
I'm glad you didn't mention about the podcast, because that's going to be my thing now. Christine.
Oh, man.
What's your...
It got hot out here.
What's
your... Throw some of that heat this way. I'm freezing.
Christine, how's your 2019?
Oh, man.
I know you did a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. My 2019 is pretty exciting. The second half has been an incredible growing experience. I got a life coach. That was really cool, and she's really helped me in my life. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to reveal too much because politics. Oh yeah, I'm running for mayor, so that's really exciting. It's like you go into something understanding so much about it. I've been to city council meetings. I've met with all these people before, so I thought I had a pretty good idea of what I was getting into. But what's interesting is how the system that's set up in place for elections, for politics, for local government, and it's educating me more and more how the system is built to keep out working class people. So that's a whole, and you guys can listen to my podcast, Issues with Christine. I go live every Sunday on Facebook and on Instagram at Christine for Whittier. But, and we talk a little bit more about that. So, but other than that, it's been a really great experience just meeting new people. And, there's so many neighbors here in Whittier that understand, what the goal is and what we're trying to achieve. And it's been really incredible also just working here at the Poet Gardens, seeing it from its first inception to where it is now. I remember that last November, my radio room was not there, and now it's totally there. So and right now, Jessie and I, or all three of us, we were talking off mic, just walking through and seeing all the people eating, drinking, talking, even out here, like as we're on the porch. We see people coming in, they're looking around the space, they're taking it in, because this is the first time they've ever been here, but I spent my whole year here, and that's a beautiful thing to be a part of and to see it come to fruition. I don't know. But again, it's like I'm 27, and these are all lessons that you learn through life.
Still young.
Yeah, exactly. So I have so much more to learn, and I'm excited for 2020.
Yeah, young in terms of experience, yes.
Correct. Yeah, you guys know I have an old soul, so.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. Like only being 27, and how many other 27-year-olds are your colleagues?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go through those life experiences now, or in your 30s,
yeah,
in your 40s,
exactly.
in your 50s.
Exactly.
So you want to get as many of those out as possible earlier in your life, so the latter part of your life is a little easier.
Yeah, my dad has always said I'm like always on a fast track. So I just move through life very fast. The grass doesn't grow green under my feet. So, the fact that I'm here where I am at is 27. Some people aren't even here until they're 37 is a victory in itself, I think. It just, it's like your growth mental mindset, building those mental calluses and discipline and, growing up stuff.
Is there anything from 2018 that you were setting out to that either became something on 2019 or didn't go your way, and now you're kind of reflecting on it?
Yeah, so, just in personal, I don't really like to, we're going to get personal. In 2018, I had a boyfriend that was not really that great, and then now I have a partner who's incredible and supports me every single way. So that's a really beautiful thing, and that's growth. I wouldn't be here if I didn't get my own act together and see what am I doing with my life, and all that kind of stuff. But it's also I worked with Eva this year, this 2018-2019. Eva Messi is your wife, and she's taught me so much too. And it's that is such a gift in itself. And just with Ivy and all of my other friends, it's I'm really grateful. It's just, you have to have an attitude of gratitude. That's another thing I've really taken in for 2019. It's saying 3 things I'm grateful for every single day, because, wow, just your mindset completely shifts. And another thing is whenever I have a negative thought, I think of 3 positive thoughts. right after. And it's like if I'm saying, oh, well, this person, no. Well, you know, this person did this, that's good. This person did that, that's good, that. And then all of a sudden, I no longer even care to think negatively about it. It's really weird. I implore everybody to try that experiment out. But yeah, from 2018 to 2019, just about, you know, self-love, self-care, taking care of myself, showing up, right, for my friends, for my family, and being there. Yes. Very cool.
It's funny you say that because that's what I tell my kids. That's one thing I learned today, or not learned today, learned this last year is that, which is what I tell my kids, is if you have a bad day, like if you think you're having the worst day ever, like stop and check your pulse.
Yep.
And then it will remind you how lucky you are to be alive. And just that alone is like, kind of like you said, it's a mind shift that just kind of helps you.
And we really don't have a bad day. We have like a bad 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. But we have it consume us because what we focus on expands and takes over us. So.
My life coach said this really cool thing. She said, like whatever seeps in, like if you just kind of like how you mentioned, if you give it attention, it'll become your focus. Yeah. So shift your mindset, divert, and just see what's possible when you focus your energies on yourself and productivity.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
I know. If you asked me last year, I wouldn't have said any of that. Yeah. But yeah, Jessie, you.
Well, this year's 2019 was good. I mean, it just keeps getting better. We actually celebrated as a business. It was our fifth year in business, which is really cool. I never thought it'd go this far.
You're welcome.
Actually hit my 20th year in the business, which is when I tell people, they're like, "What the hell, man? Were you in diapers or what?" You know?
No,
I look that young.
Look at that gray beard of yours, buddy.
And then
he was in 30 under 30. This guy's like 32.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
And just family wise, I mean, I got two healthy kids. I have a healthy wife. I'm healthy as much as I can say I'm healthy.
And you lost some weight, right, in 2019?
I did. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I try.
Yeah, you lost what, like 20 pounds?
Again, it's part of I think I lost 20-some pounds, and just again, it's part of just like as you get older, you start looking at your priorities, and your priorities start shifting. Then,
remember, we take weekly pictures, and if you go back to our Instagram, you can see the development, positive or negative, through weekly pictures. So,
no, man, it's been good. Business good, family's good. And just for me, it's just being able to be part of this community, which is really cool. I mean, every year it gets stronger, stronger in the sense of relationships. I've been able to meet a lot more people this last year, which have turned into positive and great relationships, both personal and also business-wise, which is great. And that's my thing, man. The whole reason why I was getting into business was to be able to provide design for everybody. Not everybody's able to quote air quotes. I'm throwing air quotes in terms of affording or being able to afford architecture or design. And so that was the goal, is just be able to put it out there for everybody. And I've been able to work with a lot of local businesses, which is kind of cool. And I don't know, 2020 now, it's going to be a great year, I think, also. But 2019, man, it was just like a big blended
day.
Yeah, exactly.
It did go by really fast, right?
It was really fast. I think one thing that reflecting back from 2018 to 2019, 2018 was all about trying to get a little bit more organized with like a calendar, like trying to be more
structured.
I guess that's the right word. If many of you know, and I know Remo knows me really well on this, is that from a creative standpoint, I'm kind of all over the place.
Not you, Jesse.
So that's always a goal. It's trying to be able to kind of get a little bit more, I guess, focused in the sense that we could start putting together, more of a process to how things would work out. But again, just like it was there on 2018, and now on 2019, it'll be there for 2020. So But again, overall, I can't complain because it's 2019 has been a really good year.
I have a quote for you, Jessie, that we have in our weekly accountability meetings with our sales team, and that's: professionals stick to a schedule, amateurs let life get in the way.
There you go, man. So,
Yeah.
so I'm
It's all about sticking to a schedule.
That's why I woke up at 6 a.m. this morning.
So what's in between? Because I'm in between.
You're an amateur, you're a pro.
In this
Pro
case, you're
amateur?
Jessie.
I'm a pro amateur, man. There you go.
A promature?
Yeah, there is
Promature?
that.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyways,
So, how about 2020? What are we expecting in 2020? And 2020 would be good if what happens?
that's a good question. I mean, have you had a chance to put together? See, I'm not a big I don't sit down and put resolutions for like the next year. But for me, it's just more of like I look at how it was last year and then just kind of try to build from that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just building on top of what you've already done.
But if you don't know what you want, how do you get it?
And that's the thing with me, man. I don't like my ambitions I think are a little different, and more for me. It's more of the. And it's funny. I was thinking about this morning, and it even clicked more when we had a conversation earlier about having like a full-time job. You know, like for me, the reason why I decided to do what I'm doing now is to be able to have more time to spend with the family, and more especially with my kids, being able to be there for them and you know do more with them than I would normally do. And so for me, that's what drives me. That's my drive. If I could do more of that and do less of everything else, and I can still maintain, great. And so for me, that's hard because usually when you as you get older, I would think, I don't know, most of my colleagues, I see them like, you know, I'm setting up, you know, trying to build my wealth and, you know, this and that. And it's a different mindset, different goals, different ambitions. And it's kind of hard, you know, it's kind of hard to say, hey, you know, I'm going to do this because I want to do something else. So for me, I think it's just, again, building from what I did last year. And like I said, just kind of professionally just try to stick to something, you know. So.
Yeah. Do you feel that being as a kind of independent or your own company, that you have more free time or less free time?
I have more free time than I did before when I was working for somebody else.
Do you think this structure gives you more free time? If you knew you were getting off at 5 and the practice was at 6, were you more likely to make it at, like, let's say 6 versus if you were by yourself and all of a sudden 4 turns into 5, 5 turns into 8 p.m. and all of a sudden you're...
No, because again, I mean, the way my industry works, man, you're working all day, right? And so to be on your own, you could work as much as you can, because it's your flexible time, you know. So I'm still working 10, 12 hours a day. It just means I'm not working them all at once. Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. It's just that's how I think I'm able to gain that flexibility or additional freedom.
Yeah.
But there is, I know, also, like they always say, man, you can't have two like loves in your life.
There's a balance, right?
Because you're gonna either love one and let the other one go, or
Yeah, I don't think the whole life balance is not, in my mind, as realistic. I think something takes precedence over other things. So for that day, that week, that hour, it could be that you're lopsided one way and then you sway to the other way, and I think that's where the actual balance is. Because, you can only really focus on one thing at a time. And when you try to, be too thin with your time, then you end up just doing a lot of nothing, and nothing's really productive. You're not really present. So, yeah.
And I think you guys are both really good with being present when you're not working. You know, I mean, I've only hung out with you, so I have not hung out with you guys as much this last year than I have in previous years. But I've noticed that this year it's like, okay, well, I have a hard out at this time because I have to do this with my son, or I have to do this with my wife, or whatever it is. I can't record this day because of my priorities. And that's okay, because priorities, like you said, everyone kind of like shift every single day, right? Maybe you have one client that needs more attention than another client that's, whatever. But I would just congratulate you guys on having those time boundaries. And that's definitely a thing that I think you guys have grown in, is establishing your priorities and your boundaries. And it is a structure. It is a structure to say, I can't do this from 4:30 to 6:30, so I'm going to do what I can on this job right before 4:30. I know. Is this like a business podcast?
No, it's just life.
No, I know.
Yeah. One of the things that I realized over the last few years, maybe even more than past few years, is when I would ask someone that's busy to check their schedule, they would want to set something up as soon as their schedule's open versus, in the past where it's like, well, let me get back to you tomorrow or next week. And then the reality is they just are so like they're waiting to see what other things line up. Or if you're really busy and you're kind of organized, you want to put stuff on your calendar right away, because if not, then other things are going to take it over. Yeah.
So what do you use in terms of? I mean, do you guys have a good way of maintaining that? Like, is there a good calendar system you guys use?
Yeah, the one you use. So whatever that
the
is.
iCal?
No, whatever the one you
whatever
use.
you use that works.
Whatever you use that works is the good calendar to use. And that could be a paper pad.
What would you? What's good? What's works out for you?
I use Google Calendar because
Okay.
it's shareable. It syncs with just about everything. So for me, Google Calendar works really well.
Nice. So your digital calendar.
Yeah.
You, Christine?
I have a written planner for the campaign, and I also have digital. But then for my own personal, I have digital for the stuff me and my boyfriend do. We have a shared calendar, which is really cool.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Whoa.
I'm like, you can't miss this. It's on your
I
calendar.
think I shared my calendar until after I got married.
Well.
And even at that.
Well, there's some technology reasons there, Jesse. When you got married, buddy, you were still in AWho group chats, and
I'm sure Jocelyn was calling you.
Yeah.
Don't you remember we had to do this?
Yeah, you, back then when you loaded the internet, you used to go.
Could only make a phone call or use the internet. You can't do
You
both.
can't do both.
So there's a lot of difference now. It's like sharing the calendar, just a couple clicks on your smartphone, and
and
And the reason why I was asking about calendars is because I've been hearing this whole thing about journals, or not journal, planners.
Oh yeah.
Lately, I've been seeing ads pop up about this kind of planner and that kind of planner, and
it's the beginning of the year.
It is, but what I'm saying is is that a nice method of keeping track if your goal is to be a little bit more structured or is that more work than what it should be?
Whatever you use, I think that's the biggest kicker. Like a planner might work for you, might not work for me. I think a way to be organized is you first pull the calendar, and this is what I do, I guess, for the quarter, and say, okay, well, what are the important things with family, the other commitment? Then overlay actual events, and then overlay and then go down the list of the big rocks. There's a video, and I'll try to give the best description of this video, and it's a college professor. I think he's a college professor, and then he gets a jar. Right, and he puts these big rocks in the jar, and there's 15 big rocks in the jar, and then he asks the students, is there anything else that could fit in the jar, right? And the students look at it, they're like, no, it's full. And then he gets medium-sized rocks and puts them in there, and the medium-sized rocks kind of filter in through the crevices, then does those small rocks, then does it with sand, and asks again, is there anything else that can fit? And he pours water, and the water fit in there. And so the idea is you want to put the big rocks in first, then the medium rocks, versus putting in the wasted time stuff, and then you realize you're just busy and you're really not.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good approach, and whether you do it monthly, weekly, quarterly, whatever it might be, to get the big rocks in there and then work your way down from your lower priorities.
Very cool. Very cool.
I just want to share really fast. No, they're not a sponsor, but it's a really great planner that Eva actually gave me. It's
not yet. They're not sponsored yet.
Yeah, exactly. They're not a sponsor yet, but after they hear this glowing ad. Anyway, so it's called Go Girl Planner. It's $15, and it's really cool because you can... it's much more than a planner. It's an organizer, and it's also a goal tracker. Things become habitual if you do them for 30 days, so you can do a goal in there. It's also like a bullet journal, so you can kind of do a brain dump, think of everything that you need to think, write down a to-do list for the day. And it's really cool, and that's one of the resources that I've been able to use to help me organize my stuff. And also, because I have a team, right, that I work with, and just like how you say, Remo, you can share your calendar to your team. With my team, we keep everything on the drive, we keep updates. We use Slack for communication purposes, but then also there's a calendar app that you can use with Slack, and that's really cool too. But yeah, there are so many things all over the place that you can use. It's all about finding what works for you, because I can give you guys the Go Grow planner, but one, you guys probably won't use the cute little stickers, and I don't know if you do a to-do list.
I'll stick them on my shirt.
Your daughter was sticking them on your forehead, Des.
I know.
So what else? 2020 is a win if what else? What happens? That's where we left off.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything you guys want to share for planning for 2020?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to win this election, that would be a great win. But I'm actually also going on my first European trip. I'm going to London and Paris in March, so that's going to be really exciting.
When in March?
March, when your baby's born, March 25th.
Oh,
so you guys will be here, and I'll be over there. But
no, it looked like Remo's planning a vacation already.
No, I'm not a Europe fan.
Well, his birthday's in March, so
I like parts of Europe. I don't care for Paris because they're not as nice to Americans, and you'll know. So start speaking a different language, and then they'll be like, "Hey,
hola, ¿cómo está?" No, I really just want to go to. We're just going for the day. We're taking a bullet train. But that's what I would like 2020 to bring, just more love, more travel, an abundance of everything, just abundance.
So let's stick with this travel. Let me kind of be your life coach for the minute.
Yes.
To do more traveling in 2020, what does that mean?
To be able to travel more is to meet different people. Just being able to meet different people, learn different experiences. And also another thing, because we've been to San Francisco, hanging out in downtown, I look at cities differently. I look at the city infrastructure, and I also, even just with Christmas decorations, we have Christmas lights on the trees here. Well, wouldn't it look more uniform and more nice if they were on the light poles? That's a thought. I don't know. Just especially in Uptown Whittier, because I have been involved in so many organizations here. But just looking at how different cities work and how their business districts work, those are all really gifts that I take from traveling.
Nice.
Is that the question?
No. That wasn't the question.
Sorry, what was the question again, though?
No. So what does traveling look like? Is it, and I think just to...
yeah, that's what it looks like, though.
But is it to, you talked about Paris and Europe, and you have set dates and times, and that's going to become real because you have those set dates already in place. Any other set dates? Yes. And locations that you're going to go to. Because that's how you make it real. I think when we all say we want more money, if someone hands you $1, you have more money.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do with the $1? Are you going to buy some gum with it, or are you going to...
Well, but the question is, I think a lot of us ask questions that don't empower us. And I think the asking more, smarter questions around it. So it's, I want this amount of money so I can do this and this and this, then you're going to be able to get that. So when you say, I want to travel, it's I want to go to this place by this time, this experience by that time, and I think you're more likely to get to that experience by declaring it and knowing that's exactly what it is you want, versus the more travel, and then your brain can't find what more travel is. You go to La Habra and you think, I travel.
No, right. Okay, well, specifically, if we're going to talk about plans, I would like us to go, and I've already set up my little itinerary because we were supposed to do this trip last year, and I decided to run for mayor, so we didn't do it. But I want to go on a little cruise, just a 5-day cruise. And I think the day that you went on your cruise with Eva was the time we were supposed to go on our cruise, which I thought was really funny. But I just want to go on because he's never been on a cruise. I love cruising. Last year, I went on a trip with my cousin to through the Panama Canal. The year before, we went to Alaska. So I'd just like us to go to Mexico and just hang out, enjoy ourselves. And yes, I know how much that costs. Yes, I know when it is. And we need to decide before March. Specifically, details.
Well, I'm gonna go back to what you were just referring to about asking the right question. If somebody was to say, "I want more money," what should that person be asking themselves? Because that's usually it. Yeah, I'll go. I mean, we're just talking general, right?
Like, but can you be like industry specific or like?
No, let's be. Well, I'm trying to be general. So, like, if somebody says, "Hey," because you always have the same ones, right? I want to lose weight, I want to have more money, and I want to travel. Okay. I think travel, we've already kind of knocked it down, and then just talking about money, and I guess health. Like, what if somebody says, I want to lose weight, like, what should that person be really thinking about? Like, what should it be, that question?
In my opinion, and this is just whether this comes off good or bad, for what it's worth, I would ask the question, why do you want that? If someone has health issues and they just finished a heart attack, right? And that reason of why is so high that it gets them to move, right? If it's just because I want to, lose a couple pounds because
want to fit in those jeans or something like that.
I mean, I don't. You need to have a bigger driving reason why you need to do something, and that part, that self-discovery of what that reason really is a very difficult part. I think that's why people do something for a short period, and all of a sudden they go back to what their habit is. So I think one way of, and this is in 2019, I read this incredible book, probably the best book I've ever read, and I go through books pretty frequently, and that's The Atomic Habit. And so the atomic habit is I think the atomic atom is the smallest particle in the earth. So it talks about the small little habits that you do every single day that, over a year, all of a sudden you're just so much further. And so I think if it's one way to just want to say, I want to lose that, I would ask you, well, what is the habit that you're going to stick to every single day that's going to get you there? And it's not, I need to work out for 2 hours every single day, but it's maybe, I'm going to take an extra flight of stairs every day. I'm going to do this. And I think as long as we focus on the daily habit, the end result will get there. And a lot of people think transformation, hope it happens over a week or 2 weeks. Transformation happens over a year of a daily consistent habit that happens over and over. It's not, I lost 10 pounds this week, I lost, let's say 3 ounces every single day for the next year that got me to losing that 30 pounds and allows me to maintain it. And have that so same with money. Some people maybe have a bad habit of spending or not saving enough. I think if you spend maybe 10% less than you normally do and save 10%, I mean, the people that save fortunes are those that have a consistent daily or weekly or monthly habit ritual. It's not that all of a sudden I came across this money, I'm going to put some aside. To try to save, $10 out of 100 is a lot easier than putting aside, if you get $10,000, putting away $2,000 just because it's such a big number. Yeah. But it's that consistent habit that you do it for such a long time, and you look back and all of a sudden it's like, wow, I have not spent that much than I normally do, or I've saved so much more, or I've lost the weight I wanted to, and any other habit, any other end result. It starts with the daily habit, and what does that look like, and why do you need to do it?
And I think part of that is also structure, right? Setting yourself up for success. So it's like, Remo, you got to go to the gym at 6 o'clock. You go to the gym every single day or however often you go, but it's because you're building up on it. Just like, Jesse, when you were saying 2018 was focused on organizing, then what's your next step? What's your next step? You're consistently growing. You're consistently building on. And I really think that's what the general theme of today's episode is just like, being just learning how to be a little bit more disciplined, consistent, organized, structured to set ourselves up for success.
And that all starts from a daily commitment to doing that.
Absolutely.
Not thinking that I'm going to go on this retreat or I'm going to go to this event, I'm going to learn something, all of a sudden I'm going to become organized. It's what is a small, tiny little thing you're doing today and every day for the next year that's going to get you to where you need to go.
Yeah, like your goals, your action steps to get what you want, like we said earlier. How do you get what you want?
Sorry.
Very cool. One thing that I've started doing this year, or end of last year, was actually getting back to reading books. And I just finished 2 recently that were really good, man. One was Kitchen Confidential. I don't know if you guys read that.
Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain. Amazing book, man.
Really?
Amazing book. And if you do the audio, he reads it himself.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like, this guy's on, I mean, rest in peace, but man, that guy was really talented dude, man. And it's crazy because you think about, it's about like, him coming through working as a chef or becoming a chef. But most of the stuff he talks about is almost like, you could apply it to life and how you could apply it to even whatever you're doing business-wise. And one thing he said, which was really good, I actually read these last year. The last 2 books I read was from him. The second book was Medium Raw.
Meeting what?
Medium Raw.
Uh-huh.
And it was written after Kitchen Confidential, and in both books he talks about how like if you want to become a chef, like should you go to school for it? And I thought he gave some really good advice. And I think this applies to any industry, man, is that the best way for you to be good at what you have to do for whatever business you're trying to do is you almost have to jump into it and start learning, like hands-on training.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to having to go through the formal education. He was talking about how like the best cooks he had in his kitchen were actually guys who were working their way up through the kitchen, rather than the guys that were off, culinary school. So, anyways, but there's a lot of cool things, man, that he came up with. But obviously, with books themselves, was there any books that you guys read last year that were? I know you talked about Atomic Habits, but is there any books that you've read that you've taken a little bit of and applied to life and would recommend or would say it's a life changer?
Let me. And this is a great book for the beginning of the year. It's called Profit First.
Oh, it's a good book.
So Profit First talks about paying yourself first as a business owner. That was a good one. The one by what's his name? The coach to Michael Jordan. His name is. God, let me pull it up real quick. Please hold while we do this commercial. If you're thinking about buying or selling, call Remo.
Visit RemoTheRealtor.com. Also, Remo is a top Facebook marketer, so head on over to Remo the Realtor on Facebook. You can learn more about Remo and his team, his wonderful team, at www.remotherealtor.com. And it's a really great opportunity for you to learn more about our community, more about Whittier. Listen to this podcast. You'll listen that Remo's a great guy. And once you purchase your property and you're interested in renovating, head on over to J2 Architects. Visit j2architects.com. We have 2 wonderful guys here, and truly they just make our city beautiful. So it's a beautiful opportunity to give back not only to your community by making your home beautiful, but so when you support a small business, you support a family. These 2 men are great family men, and kudos. Cheers.
Damn it, I didn't even pay for that. Look at that.
No, that's free.
You're welcome. I'm still looking for the book. No, I'm just kidding. It's called Relentless. It's Tim Grover. So this was Michael Jordan's personal coach.
Oh, okay.
Michael Jordan and a lot of other big successful people, and it talks about the 3 types of personalities. So that's a really good book because it gets you to think how people like Michael Jordan, how they think and how he was wired. And this is his coach for 20 years. Like, this is not one of those where I worked with them once or twice. This is the guy that worked with Michael Jordan day in, day out for 20 years. Nice. So it's a really neat book. Atomic Habit I mentioned, Profit First.
What's the one where leaders eat last?
But is there anything out of that you've either applied or thinking of applying?
No, I just read it for the hell of it.
No. Was there like a takeaway? Like you say, you know what, like that for me.
Yeah. So Profit First, the big thing with Profit First that I took away, it talks about opening up 5 accounts, and as soon as money comes in, money's already allocated because, and it gives this great analogy. Over the years, the American plate of the serving plate has become bigger. And the bigger the plate, the more we put on there. Right. So if your plate is smaller, you're just going to naturally put less on it just because it just doesn't fit. And so the same idea would be said for businesses. So as soon as the money comes in, right? It already get divvied out to whatever. So your expenses, your taxes, your so forth. And so that's a neat concept that I took. On Atomic Habit, one of the things it talks about is habit stacking. So one of the things that I want to do is become more flexible, right? But then I don't create time to stretch. So what is something I do every single day that I can add the stretching to? And that's, when I shower. So as I shower, one of the things I do is I touch my toes. Visual there for you.
Well.
I know it's kind of
You
got
shower
weird.
with clothes on. That's
yeah.
easy.
But that's so when I'm doing
Your
that, I'm
muscles
brushing
are
my
also
teeth.
warmed up and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm
relaxed.
and I am now stretching, and so that's a time that I'm taking a habit that I want to do, stacking it on top of another thing that I currently do. That makes it so much easier to do because now it becomes the same thing. I shampoo my hair, I wash my face, my body, brush my teeth, and now I stretch. So let me see.
I know you've been quite a reader this year, Remo.
The other one, I'll just say the last thing, which is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. So these are the 21 traits that all leaders need. The top one that I got from it is the leader's lid. So it's however, if you have an organization, the organization will grow to the extent that you do. And I think why that's important is if you're not self-improving, if you're not growing, then your world will only grow to the extent that you do. And if you're not growing, then your world won't grow. So the more you invest in yourself and you grow, your world will also grow. So that's
John Maxwell?
John Maxwell. John Maxwell is he's a homie. Yeah.
I've actually started listening to his podcast, the John Maxwell Leadership Podcast. Someone else turned me on to it, and it's really cool because you can go online and download. It's like a digital workbook and it's free. So and then you take notes along with it, and that's totally helped my leadership growth. Nice. Absolutely. But one book I wanted to share is called The Athena Doctrine.
Athena Doctrine?
Yeah, the Athena Doctrine. Why women and men who think like them will rule the future. And it's obviously I'm ascending into a leadership role, and so it's really interesting to learn all of the traditional leadership qualities that you find. It was a really cool study that they did. These two authors. They surveyed over 20,000 people in different countries all across the world, and it's like, okay, there are two groups. The first group is, here are feminine leadership traits and here are masculine leadership traits. What are your top 15 traits for a leader? And so then they would determine, okay, it's X masculine, X feminine traits, right? And then the second group, it's like, okay, well, here's all of these traits. They're not labeled masculine or feminine. And so they say, okay, what's your top 15 of all of these that are there? And what they found was that there were only 3 traits that were masculine. Actually, should I read them to you?
If you read quick.
That's okay. They're in my bag.
While we
they're in the bag. I should have
wait
grabbed
for
them.
that, let's give a commercial to Christine, ready for mayor.
Yeah, go to ChristineForWhittier.com. No, but it's anyway. So the 3 masculine traits, because all the feminine traits are like compassion, like open-mindedness, but the ones that I really think are interesting that are masculine are not like temper, it's not being angry, it's not showing your dominance that way. The top 3 are focus, like focusing on one thing, passion, and ambition, which are, to me, essentially they're all the same. Like they all
so they
come
would
from
be
the same
considered
root.
masculine?
Those 3 are masculine traits.
Wow.
And then traits such as just gentleness, compassion, just so many other ones. And maybe I'll just, okay, all right. Hi, everybody. Producer Christine here. I just wanted to hop on. So the book is called The Athena Doctrine, How Women and the Men Who Think Like Them Will Rule the Future. This is by John Gerzema and Michael D'Antonio. They are both sociologists who interviewed and surveyed thousands of people. This is a quote from the book. The type of feminine leadership they described is not soft and squishy, but wise and quietly strong. Boiled down to a manageable number, the keys to success, as our 64,000 respondents saw it, were connectedness, an ability to form and maintain human networks, humility, an approach to life that allows for listening, learning from others, and sharing credit, candor, a willingness to speak openly and honestly, patience, a recognition that some solutions emerge slowly, empathy, a sensitivity to others that promotes understanding, Trustworthiness, a track record and strength of character that inspire confidence. Openness, being receptive to all people and concepts. Flexibility, the ability to change and adapt when circumstances require. Vulnerability, the courage to be human and make mistakes. And balance, a well-rounded sense of purpose. Thank you for listening. Again, check out that book. It's really great. It helped me along my leadership journey as I continue to grow into the next mayor of Whittier. I'm going to edit this and put it in there.
Sounds good. Yeah. And in terms of working through the podcast and what we see coming up for next year, what do you guys envision? What's up Whittier for 2020?
If it's on my calendar, I'll be there.
I know we do have.
The question is it on your calendar?
Yeah, well, as soon as I get those calendar invites, I accept. And
there you go. Those are the big rocks.
Yeah, those are the big rocks. Exactly. Yeah.
Where do you want to see it go, though? I mean, is there anything you've envisioned? I mean, been thinking about, or?
I think last year I said I wanted to get Melissa Villasenor on the podcast. Okay, I can't. I have had 3 interactions with her in the last year. She was at Lyft Coffee last week, and I missed her by 20 minutes. I thought that was funny, and then I had emailed back and forth with her, but she couldn't be in LA. Anyway, that's still one of my goals that I want to have. Melissa Villasenor.
I want to talk to Ruth B. Shannon. And
yes.
have her on. I think she's definitely down low. Only the right people that know like her influence, and so that's someone I would love to hear the story. And obviously, being in this community for such a long time is something I'm excited to hear.
There's several people I'd like to interview this upcoming year, and for me, it's about just having a really good story that I mean, like I said, everybody has a story, right? Everybody has a story to tell. But there's just some out there that give you some inspiration. And for me, at least the stories I've seen, are stories where you could reflect and look and see how that applies to you in your own personal life or in business or whatever you're looking at. And I just feel that, there's a lot of good stories here in Whittier.
Do you have someone in mind?
Well, there is. There's a lot of people that I have in mind. Just because there's such a large, talent pool here. Again, both business and personally. I thought one great story was from the gentleman that just passed recently here in Whittier.
Ted Noel?
No, not Ted Noel.
May he rest in peace.
Shoot, now I'm drawing a blank. The gentleman that used to ride his bike on Whittier Blvd.
Oh, yes.
He was, if you look at his story of why he did what he did every day on a daily basis, that story is so impactful that you think, why was that never shared, why wasn't that ever, said?
Right. Where is the documentation of his story?
Somebody did a small mini document.
Like a photo
Danny
series.
Martin.
There you go.
Danny Martin, yeah. Rest in peace.
And man, just the again, what drives somebody to do that on a daily basis is just so powerful. That again, you look at it from a personal perspective, and it's like, what am I doing to leave such a large impact in a community? So anyways, I think here in Whittier, we have a lot of great people that have really great stories, and I just don't think nobody's really shined the light on them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I hope that for this 2020 we could do something like that, because it's always sad, man, to hear somebody's story when they're no longer here.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
But it's also about, celebrating our small town heroes. It's funny because on my podcast, Issues with Christine, there's a gentleman who's a character here in Uptown, and I interviewed him. He was so shy. He was not talking a lot. So it's also, there may be people with incredible stories, and talking to a stranger is one thing, but then, being so vulnerable to share to the world is completely different.
Yeah. Well, just tell them no one listens. It's okay. Just keep talking.
We only have 25,000 people that listen. No big deal, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I think next year or this year, 2020, would be a great year. Kind of like what we did in the past. I mean, we hit our 100 podcast last year. We've done record downloads, and again, I'm looking forward to having some really great stories. Yeah.
That's what I tell someone anytime if they say, "Oh, I'm gonna not do well on the podcast." I said, "Don't worry, no one listens to it, so you're good." and that normally lights things up a little bit.
That's right. Well, with that said, anything else you guys want to share for 2020?
No, I mean, I'm excited for Uptown at the breweries. I mean, I know you mentioned earlier we're here. This is just an incredible opportunity to live just not too far from here and to be able to have a space like this. I grew up in the city of Norwalk, and other than the AMC 20, there's really nothing that the city offers. I mean, Norwalk's great, and I lived there for many years. However, Whittier is where it's happening, and so you see, obviously here, and there's other projects that are going on that are really exciting, and will continue to bring new people, new energy, new money into the city, which is it's a good time.
I guess to wrap up our podcast here. Let's go through our regular questions and see see if anything's changed for 2020.
Okay, go ahead.
Definitely. Okay.
I'll start with Christine. What's your go-to place?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, 2020. So, my new go-to places, definitely you can find me at Buffalo Wild Wings, hanging out over there, late night.
I think you have a super fan here.
You have Buffalo Wild Wings? You like Buffs?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to get at Buffalo Wild Wings?
A cheeseburger.
Not the Wild Wings? No.
He doesn't like the wings at Buffalo Wild Wings.
You don't like the wings?
I go
you got to ask him why he goes to why is
it your go-to place?
I don't know. I just like to watch the sports while eating.
Oh, that's true. They have a lot of screens. Which one do you guys go to? The Whittier one?
I'm not sure.
That the one right down the street from your house?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, there are a lot of big screens there, huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings? I got a gift
have
card
a good
a year
happy
ago, and I've never used it.
Well, you could always pay your producer.
And gift cards.
It's definitely like a sports place, man.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to catch sports, I mean, they have so many TVs. It's insane.
No, the happy hour is really good at 9 o'clock.
Remo, what's your go-to place?
I mean, for breakfast, I've been going to Mimo's quite often. If we don't have a shake at the house for whatever reason, Eva doesn't get bananas in time. They go bad because we don't use them. We have the stuff to make the shake, but we're like, maybe not. So Mimo's, they have the breakfast burritos really good there. Their sausage breakfast burritos really good. For lunch, if I'm in the area, I've been going to Deli Up quite often.
Rest in peace to Deli Up, because they recently closed.
What?
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, so I didn't mean to cut you off there, but they recently closed. I went there. When did I go? Like the day after Christmas, or the day that I almost met Melissa Villasenor. I said,
it's just Lyft?
Yeah, now it's just Lyft, because I had asked, like, oh, do you guys have sandwiches? I didn't see anybody prepping, and they said, oh no, yesterday was their last day. I was like, what? Yesterday? No, there's no posting about it or anything.
Well, hold tight. We've got to confirm that to see if it's confirmed.
All right, Nakomi
Last
and Jay will
year,
ask.
that was my go-to
Yeah,
spot.
2019.
And I thought it was going to be for 2020. And then for dinner, we go to the Chicken Coop. We go to J Doe's.
Oh, J Doe's.
I would say probably our most frequent out of the area is that. Actually, we order delivery because sometimes we just don't want to leave the house. Greenleaf Thai, they deliver.
Yeah. I love
which is
Greenleaf
really
Thai.
Nice, and their food is delicious. They have really, really good food. Like, they're a gym that a lot of people don't know about. So Greenleaf Thai on Greenleaf it's really good food.
Yeah, actually, I've been going there a lot more this past year. We love Thai food, so the curry is so good.
Yeah, their food is really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Very authentic. Jess?
Well, yeah, my go-to for lunch was JDO. The backup to that was a deli, which is gonna suck if it's not there anymore.
I know.
And then if it was with the kids, I'm at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Look at that. Sebastian's laughing.
Those are my
over there.
go-tos, man. But yeah, no, this next year with more restaurants coming in, I think there'll be more.
I heard Buffalo Wild Wings is closing forever. No. He's saying no.
Yeah.
All right. That's his go-to spot.
That's his go-to spot, man.
All right, I'll see you there, bud.
So for next year, or 2020, what's one thing that's missing that should be here, Christine?
Christine Singer Luna as mayor.
That was easy. That was a softball.
that was
Remo?
definitely a softball.
Remo for mayor.
Yeah. No, us to help 100 families. No.
Yeah.
2020, what would be missing? We always get this, but really good weather year round. I enjoy. I say that because we're here in the patio again, and it's a little chilly. I don't have a
It's
jacket.
January 2nd, and it's 60 degrees.
Yeah. Well, it's colder than 60 degrees. Eh? Well, it's
Well, the water that we have is not ice yet. So.
no, it's definitely not that cold. It is 60. It's 62 degrees.
Ooh, am I from California or what?
Yeah. So, but it's 70 degrees the rest of this week. So, I mean, you definitely can't complain. I've been watching a lot of football this last week or so, and you see the
Yes.
games that are in different areas in the Midwest and the East Coast, and man, it's good to be in a short sleeve at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. at night. So good weather.
Yeah.
For 2020.
Just.
So the thing that I think is missing in Whittier is housing. I know I said that before for the last couple years.
In Uptown or just Whittier?
Just in general. I mean, obviously Whittier would be the best. More housing in Uptown. But just in general, I think we need a lot more. And that's only going to help for keeping this area thriving.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way you could keep the economy moving forward is you need more people to really invest and spend here locally. So the only way to do it is bring housing for them. So I know there's some housing coming into play. I just wish there was a lot more. But I think...
Isn't there a big state law that passed? You want to share about that? Because I think that's really exciting.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a big law that's passed. Now it's official, January 1st, where you could add, obviously, a second unit, and in some instances, you could add a third unit into your R1.
So your typical single-family home here in Whittier, you could now add, for sure, at least one more unit and potentially a second unit.
Correct.
For, I would say, a big portion of the city.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's huge because it fills demand that's out there, which is affordable housing. But also, again, you look around the area, there's not many empty lots that are vacant where you could come in and build. So that's solving two problems or two issues there. And I hope people hold on to this and make something of it. Obviously, with everything, you have to do some great planning and have a good set of plan kind of in place to be able to execute. And I say this not in the sense of actually building a plan or putting plans to build, but it's actually putting something in writing for you to be able to understand what that means, because it becomes an investment property, right? And so, again, I think that's what's missing here in Whittier. And like I said, with adding that component to the area, it'll definitely start sparking different sectors. Like one of them, again, is the local businesses.
And for more information about that, you reach out to Jessie at 562-522-0056.
I have a quick question, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, with this whole running for office, I'm learning so much more about the need for housing and homeless prevention, right? So I believe that I heard that the state, like, you can take out a loan, the state will cover it if you're building an ADU. Is that correct?
I don't know if it's a state, but I know there's like county resources
or local credit unions that will give out loans.
Yeah, there's local organizations that would give you or fund you money, but they do put some kind of requirements to it.
On the...
and most of them, I don't know, I should say most of them. Some of them one of the requirement is that you have to have it like either like what is it?
Within 3 months.
Affordable. It needs to be for low income housing.
Yeah.
Which obviously you have to apply for that. You have requirements, or they have different requirements where it has to be in a certain area, and that area might be where there is more need for low income housing. So there are programs out there. But again, that becomes, like I said, that becomes kind of what you put into your planning for wanting to do something like that, because you need to understand what the real reason behind it is. So
to create more low income or housing, and specifically more low income housing.
Exactly. So.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for that information. Go to j2architects.com to listen more and to learn more about that, and remotherealtor.com if you're interested in buying or selling in 2020.
Actually. But one question I was going to say in terms of the market, I know everybody keeps talking about, last year, the last 2 years, the market has been really strong, both from the investment side, but also from the selling side, right? How do you see 2020 going on the
values? And you're talking about values, or
or just the market in general, like.
I still think the market has more room to grow. I mean, last year, if you had asked me, I would have said we were tracked. But the rents are so strong in the area that, back in 2007, 2008, people walked away from their house because, one, there was bad loans, but more importantly, because if I was paying, let's say, $3,000 for my house and the mortgage, I can rent my neighbor's house for $1,500, $1,800. So it was easy to jump ship because I was saving $1,000 or $1,500. Now that's not the case. Rents have gone up so much that, at the end of the day, if I walk away from my property, my home, I have to pay the same in rent. So why would I do that? So I think the higher rent costs or housing costs is the glue that's really holding us together. So I still think it's still really affordable. It doesn't seem like, especially if you're renting at a low amount, but relative to what market rate is for renting, home ownership is still affordable in that sense. Obviously, at this point now you need typically 2 incomes, but if you're renting, if you're renting a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in East Whittier, you're paying $2,500, $2,700, $2,800.
Yeah.
So if you're paying that, how much more is a mortgage? And that mortgage is pretty much fixed for
30 years
a while,
or
where housing or rental is